Chapter 14-fred-m.
By the end of 1975, my wife and I were expecting our first child. With the new baby on the way, I started looking for a better job opportunity. I wasn't sure if the small computers that I had been working on were ever going to catch on. IBM dominated the mainframe market at over 90% of market share. They were used primarily by corporate and governmental organizations for critical applications and bulk data processing. I learned to program on IBM 360 computer at Michigan Tech. I believed getting back to mainframe computing would open many doors for me. I found a local government job within the county's data processing department. On my first day, my team leader, Tony, told me that I was hired to design and implement the county's computerized court docket system. He would oversee my work. I later learned that I was hired to take over Tony's job, the very same job he was training me for. Suzanne was the person who ran the day-to-day operations at the clerk's office. She would be the client for the project. She did not understand computers and wanted everything done her way. I would soon find out that she was known to be a bitch that wanted to fire everybody. The 3-year project had approved overtime and was to be reviewed each year by a committee. The next day, Tony took me across the street to the courthouse and introduced me to Suzanne. Her tall and skinny frame looked busy managing wide and open office full of women doing clerical tasks. Group of younger and better-looking women in the front were communicating with attorneys, public and press agents, and performing bank teller-type transactions. There were files and papers flying everywhere. "Thank you, Tony. I know you are busy and have important things to go back to your office. Leave Sid here with me and we will get started. Do you want some coffee, Sid?" Suzanne looked at me, smiled, and asked one of her assistants to get me a cup of coffee. "Fred is going to join us, but he's running late. Let us get started anyway. I'm going to be very candid with you, Sid. We talk to you people in data processing, and then nothing happens after that. If they do come back, they tell us computers cannot do what I want. I'm very frustrated with this. I'm going to wait until my boss Fred joins us. He was recently hired like you. Here he comes." Fred had just joined the circuit court as the court administrator. The then chief judge handpicked him for the position. Fred had previously served as a revered U.S. attorney in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Detroit. He was tall, athletic, and handsome, but with receding hairline. Fred wore Woody Allen glasses and always maintained a colorful smile. Fred walked into the room and warmly introduced himself. After we were done exchanging pleasantries, Fred made a remark that I remember to this day. It was an example of setting the standard. He said, "We want our court to become one of the first computerized systems in the United States. You will do the work, and I will take the credit for it." Then he laughed loudly. At that time, our county's court system, like all other court systems throughout the United States, had no centralized data system. Nothing was done electronically. Everything was done manually. Let us say you wanted to call the court clerk to get information about a particular case, such as the name of the party or a court date. The clerk would need to physically grab the paper file and manually search through all the documents to obtain the information you were looking for. This was difficult because the files were typically massive in size. Fred understood that this system was proving to be an inefficient way to handle the court's affairs. Like many in county government, Fred wanted the court to revolutionize the process to make it more efficient and more organized. They said the process would take at least 3 years, but I was eager to get the system implemented much quicker. I'm a person who understands the importance of always being prepared. I asked Suzanne to give me a desk that would seat me in the center of all the action and surround me with all my colleagues. I wanted to learn as much about the court system as possible. I needed to know exactly how the court operated on a day-to-day basis. This included information about the court's dockets and the booking of inmates in the county jail. I asked Fred to create a user group that consisted of representatives from every division of the court, including the prosecutor's office and the friend of the court, which assists the family court with his docket in matters related to parenting time, custody, and child support. He agreed. Kim, who worked for the friend of the court, along with Suzanne, ran the meeting. I attended these meetings as a representative of the county's data processing department. Fred had the oversight responsibilities and helped us deal with the judges and the associated politics. Suzanne cautioned me, "It is your department that is full of prima donnas, a demanding, temperamental, egomaniacs, bunch of geeks that think they are so important." I get the gist, Suzanne, I told her. "Please give me the opportunity to perform. You let me worry about all that from now on. I will speak for my department from now on." It is not surprising that Suzanne was so reluctant to trust people in the data processing department. Many within our department believed that they should completely take over this project without collaborating with other court personnel. They did not want anyone else interfering. They figured that since they were the ones with computer training, the internals of court's database was exclusively the job of their department. Fortunately, I did not share that mentality. I knew how important it was to get the involvement of others outside the department, especially court employees who are most familiar with the court's methods and procedures. The next task for me was to correct my own department. I figured it was my job to improve our image to the client. After all, I was hired and paid by the computer department. I became transparent so that our division understood what the client wanted and the client understood what we can do and cannot do. When the ball is fumbled, it is everybody's job to take it across the goal line. We will stop the we-they bit. This was my opportunity to apply what I had learned in the Graduate School of Business. It was my time to make the right contribution. As the days progressed, I was delighted to discover the talent within our own department. With everyone working together on the project, our team became more enthusiastic as our relationships became stronger. From birthday cakes to project milestones, our celebrations created bonds which improved collaborative outputs. Fred, Kim, and I started going to lunch together and became close friends. From time to time, Chief Justice would go with us. We had many informal discussions about many topics. I learned a lot from them, and in return, they learned a lot about my culture and my country. In addition, in that process, it had occurred to me that I did not know much about my culture and my country. I did not let that get in the way. Why would I? There was no Wikipedia for anyone to check back then. One time, when my father was visiting the USA, Fred spent a whole day with us showing him the court system and introducing him to the legal scholars and celebrities in the state of Michigan. Instead of taking 3 years as initially expected, our system was implemented in 10 months. It delivered the results expected, and the benefits were instantly realized. Without Fred, we would not have been able to navigate through all the petty politics. Fred received the well-deserved credit. Moreover, so did everybody else. Success has many fathers, and failure is a bastard. None of my clients understood exactly what was involved in the workings of the computer systems, and yet they were pleased with the product. In my opinion, making clients participate and collaborate, providing them with tender, loving care, and insisting upon good bedside manners was the key. I continued working for the county. I was later promoted, got a corner office with a window, my own secretary, and a new title, Chief of DP Systems. I also got a 10% increase in salary. I finally had a job security by the time our first child was born. By government standards, my career at the county was on the rise. I got great benefits from the county. I got vacation time and could retire and accumulate sick leaves. Even though I was only 30, my retirement was being funded due to government retirement benefits. Overall, life was good. Then I got a call from Suzanne. "Sid, what are you doing?" she asked. "Can you come and see me?" I was not sure what this was all about. When I got there, I was told she was in the cafeteria waiting for me. "This is confidential," she said softly. "I'm not supposed to be doing this. My husband is a director at General Motors. GM has recognized the emerging need for computers. They are recruiting people for their newly formed Information Systems and Communications Activities Division. They are looking for good, competent people. I told my husband that he should hire you. Sid, let me tell you, your talent should not be wasted. I think you should go and work for GM. They are growing, and you will grow with them. They need you. What do you think?" I said yes immediately. You can always say no later. In January of 1979, I was hired in JAMISCA, General Motors Information Systems and Communications Activities, at the GM headquarters building in Detroit, Michigan. This was by far my most pivotal career move. The only downside was that I had to leave my close colleagues at the county. It was particularly difficult saying farewell to Fred, whom had become a close friend. Even though Fred was disappointed that I left, I knew great things were coming his way. I was right. In May of 1982, then Michigan Governor William Milliken appointed Judge Fred M. Mester to the bench of the Circuit Court, a position Fred proudly and honorably held until his retirement in 2008. Aha! So what have we learned? 1. Technical mastery of your discipline is not enough. 2. Earn the trust of your clients. It is the root of client satisfaction and loyalty.